So I look at my guild. What is this? 1, 2, 3 Aramintias? Really? Alright, game. My legend, Scion. Alright, so we've actually seen this article before, this interview, but this is actually from QApp. And there's a few things in this that's different from the other interviews. They pretty much sat down with a lot of people. And I just wanted to point out a few things in this one. Now, we already know about the unit engine and all that. But this right here, this is different from the last article that I've seen. And this is how long it takes to create a character. Now, they did mention this in a different article before, but they didn't show this particular stuff. At least I didn't see it. So I figured I would just show you guys, because it looked kind of cool. It takes approximately 3 months to create a character, which they did say in a different article. From original concepts to illustration to the animated cutscenes, the most time-consuming part is creating a character, is the 2D animations. To create the perfect 2D sequence, we make it frame by frame, which is in the other part. But these pictures are not. Take example, her 2D animations took the longest to make, which is like, wow, that this took the longest to make. Each one of her movements was elaborate and detailed, so a lot of work went into ensuring that each frame follows previously seamlessly. Now that's actually pretty impressive. I actually went back because I have her and looked at all her animations, and you kind of take it for granted, but they're right. It's 60 FPS and a lot of frames in her animation, which actually kind of like just makes me want to use her because of how much work went into her. So definitely check her out, because like it's crazy. When you actually sit down and you look at her frames, for sure, like this is insanity. Just take my word for it and go check it out if you have her. But it doesn't even matter if you have her. You can go look into the codex part and go see that, the journal rather. Favorite side story of all the side stories you created, the favorite one was the ends and the Valentine's Day side story. That was repeated too, and this one was repeated too. Now this wasn't repeated. Many Taiwanese players have reflected in the late game contents. Many crown control don't work against bosses, which I've said a lot, because like that's the problem with the recent special change character. His stuff doesn't work on any of those boss fights. Like nothing. Like he can't do anything besides the defense break, and his percent to defense break with chorus is really low. So it's like it's not even worth using him like that. Like just PvP and that's it. So making a pure DPS the only way to clear them. Will you consider making changes to this? We are indeed considering. I don't know why y'all considering, because half the game cast can't do anything against raid and like abyss content because their stuff doesn't work on it. So you should be beyond considering it. Making changes to this so the players won't just simply rely on damage output instead, and come up with more creative strategies to tackle content. For example, in Labyrinth, we'll be releasing new bosses with this in mind. In the future, we hope to create more opportunities for players to use all heroes and come up with different compositions outside of PvP. Thank you. Because I legit said that there's no skill behind using certain characters, which is why I don't use, I pretty much bench Chloryfaver and don't use, even though I have her at a 5-star, I don't use Angelica, because I think using Angelica is just like, it's like admitting that you're not good enough to use anybody else. In my opinion, like that you just need to rely on a broke ass character at that point. Like that's no skill whatsoever. That's why I would just like we're our own keepers out here. If I know a character's broken, I'm not gonna cheese it. I'm just not. Like, you know, real gamers don't do shit like that. That's just my opinion of that. Will players be able to change their names and IDs in the future? This is something we're considering as well. However, allowing name change comes with a lot of side effects, like buying and selling accounts, and people just holding rights to the different account names. A lot of oversight will be needed if we do a that's kind of true. That's kind of true. We all want like a little name change thing and everything else like that, but if you want to see, this is the one thing which they're probably scared of, because they know everybody likes re-rolling, and that's the cool part of this game. If you want to stop all the buying and selling, you make the accounts bind the one thing, and that stops all the buying and selling, because then you would have to legitimately make emails and everything else. That just makes it harder at that point. It doesn't really, it doesn't shut it down, but it makes it harder. It makes it less rampant. And there's even a better way to do that, is if it actually, you would need to actually make a account, make a legit account, and then that be your personal ID and stuff like that. Some games do that, where they just make you make a legit account and it logs in and everything else, and you have to play a certain amount of time. That makes buying and selling and re-rolling absolutely useless at that point, but at the same time it would stop the buying and selling accounts. So, you know, I see where they're coming from with that, because that's just a nightmare. They probably don't want to do that to people because it's been sitting there for so long, re-rolling and everything else, and then people would just get salty. All the new people coming in, they're going to see all these videos and all these posts from the past of how many times people re-rolled for characters, and they're going to be mad and stuff like that. So that's a slippery slope. So yeah, this next one, since the launch of the game, there has been major hero rebalancing for 3 and 5 stars. The development team put hero balances into consideration of creating new characters. In the beginning, 3 stars and 5-star characters have significant difference, but the focus of the game isn't to have a team with the combat power, but to have players come up with different team compositions and strategies. Our biggest goal was to ensure that each hero had its place. Now, this right here is where they ended up in a problem. And the reason why they ended up in a problem is because you have characters like where you don't need to come up with a strategy. Like I said, that's why I disliked using Clary and Angelica. And at first I was using Clary, if you guys remember, but then somebody pointed out, you know, like, well, she's broken. You may like her and may not think, because my argument in that was Clary is actually being used as a tank in a tank spot, but she's still broken in a tank slot. So I was like, you know what? I can't say that Angelica's broken and turn around and still be using Clary. So I got to shut down Clary and Angelica. And my problem again with that is that both those characters, like a few other characters that I could actually name, take away the need to actually use team compositions and strategies. They just break half the damn game. And that's why these characters end up broken. That's why the Trinity ended up getting taken out. And people had the same arguments back there. Oh, well, I can't get 4 and 5-star characters, so I use a Trinity in this budget and everything else. And people was getting mad and raging out and saying Smilegate is robbing everybody and everything else, and Stove don't know what they're doing, and I'm sitting there, I was like, did you even try to play anything else? Like, they'll try the other characters. And I remember back then, if you guys look back and look at my video for this. I'm gonna take y'all back in the time capsule, and people was like, "Oh, Scion, I don't know what you're talking about." I said when DN came out, I was like, DN is gonna replace Elson, and if you can't get DN, use Angelica because she's just as strong. People was like, "No, we ain't gonna do that because we can't summon on that, and don't nobody got Angelica and everything." And now Angelica's a problem, and she's too broken. And I literally said that before everybody else. I was like, "Did y'all at least try to play anything else?" Like what was the problem here? Anyway, next one. Are there specific reasons to why Moonlight Summon is unlocked upon clearing 1010? And this is, again, something that I had said originally in the beginning, and I still say it now. And we had people coming out. We had this dude who made a video, started crying like in the video, talking about, well, I don't feel people should be not summoning on Moonlight Summon in the beginning because look at all these great characters. I was like, bro, this is a PvE game. It's not a PvP game. I was like, PvP is thrown into this game. Like, let's be serious. If it was a really hardcore PvP game, then we would have real-time PvP. And there would be PvP sets and PvP skills. None of that exists in this game because the PvP was thrown on top of a PvE game. It's not a PvP gacha game. And no matter what people want to say or think or try to go ahead, it's just not. That's why the Moonlight characters actually came after the original cast. Now, a lot of people know that, but they came after because the PvP was added onto the game. It wasn't necessarily part of the game. But everybody wasn't in the beginning, here in the beginning, like I was with a few other people to actually see how this stuff all came about. So everybody just comes in to have an opinion, and their opinion is a little bit off because they weren't there in the beginning. They don't know how this stuff happened. We wanted players to be more familiarized with the core elements of the game. Fire, ice, earth, light, and dark doesn't exactly play too much in the role of the equation, so we didn't want to open up to players instantly. Now, that is cool and all, but that is initially tells you that what they wanted you to do. This is literally, if you look at his response right here, I'm gonna read it again so people don't get it twisted and try to still make their own opinions of what you're supposed to do in the game and what the game wants you to do. We wanted players to be more familiarized with the core elements of the game: fire, ice, earth, light, and dark. It doesn't play into much of the role of the equation, so we didn't want to open to the players instantly. And the reason why is because you were supposed to use PvE units and learn the game. Meaning that when you actually get to that point right there, if you could do it a little bit early, you probably should be going after the 4 or 5-star ticket summon, because the people who made the game don't want you to do it. So whatever. The normal Covenant summons don't have a guaranteed 5-star summon. Why? Guaranteed summon is only for limited heroes because there's more pressure on players to obtain a specific hero in a limited amount of time when they're available. For normal summons, we didn't include it because players still have a chance to get it in the future, which is fine. That's fine. Now this right here, I wanted to actually pay attention to because I don't believe I ever saw this map, but it's actually cool because we knew that they had all these different continents and stuff. And I'm actually looking forward to them because they seem to be opening this up as different chapters and a new region. And hopefully it's going to be large regions, because if it's large regions, it'll have more chance at Skystone, to have more chance at resources, and just new lore that we can just run around the game. So that's actually going to be good. They said they got a 10-year plan. So to have this big ass continent like this, continents rather, I'm sorry, it's awesome. The Rotted Earth though is kind of that's kind of sad. That's a big ass continent to be called Rotted Earth. But anyway, in previous interviews, you mentioned that the Rotted Earth will be unlocked in 2019. Can you reveal the release time frame for the new region? There might be spoilers, so there's only a few things that we can share. Tentative name of the new region is Sidonia. Story will revolve around different events happening across small kingdoms. Okay, so we don't get to see Sidonia actually, but we just get to see the continents. Does this mean, aside from Raz, the game will have a new protagonist? And pretty much said yes. Although Raz will appear in the second arc, it doesn't necessarily mean he'll be the protagonist of the story. The stories of each kingdom will be led by different characters: Tiwin, Cecilia, Roman, and Yufine. Now, the minute that I saw Yufine, I was like, bruh. And I still don't have her yet. I'm kind of mad. I care nothing about Tiwin or Roman. I was like, bro, they were boring. I don't care anything about them. I got Cecilia though, so that's good. That Yufine is hurting my feelings though, especially the fact that this is literally saying that she's going to be a protagonist. Like, bro, and it's probably going to be like a whole country full of dragon babes, just like Luna, Luna and Yufine, and that's going to be some ridiculousness. And that we'll probably get to see her mom. Because the way they look, I want to see moms. Let me see who mom look like. Queen Dragon? Can we see Queen Dragon, please? Anyway, aside for 5-star characters, will the game introduce a new 4-star character? Okay, so we already saw that one. New features. Will there be real-time co-op features coming to the game? They said that before. This is something we're considering. But because there's a lot of time differences between the global servers, players might not be able to fully benefit in real-time co-op. We'll be giving this more thought in the future. Oh, come on. Everybody in every single game in the world has a different time frame. This is not something y'all should be thinking about. We all want to play together in this game. There's not one person that will tell you, oh, we don't want co-op in Epic 7, Kim. I hate to say your name like that, but you won't find a fan or a gaming enthusiast in this game will tell you that they don't want co-op because this person is up at 2 a.m. and this person is at 2 p.m. They're going to play regardless. So get together. IP collaboration. Previously, alright, so we're going to reread this again. Previously, you revealed the game with collaborate special IP. Collaborate release. We are hoping to release the collaboration the first half of the year. We hope players look forward to it. The upcoming collaboration not only bring collaborative characters, but will also feature a special side story featuring Epic 7 characters and the characters from the special IP, which is cool. The development team has been working meticulously to create the collaboration that will hold the game against the game's standards and give players a complete and unique experience. Okay. During this event, Epic 7 100-day celebration in Taipei, there was Epic 7 related merchandise. Any further development, they need to sell toys and stuff. The stuff that they sent the content creators was actually pretty good. My kids just saw it and just ran off with it, and I literally almost never saw it again. I had to go get majority of it back because they was like trying to make a shrine or something. I don't know what the hell they was doing. But Epic 7 has a rich world setting as well as a high quality animated scene and animated adaptation in the future. Okay, so we already see that. Alright. The favorite character in Epic 7. This I haven't seen before. As a part of the development team, I should pick one from my selected memory. I got Basar. His English actor also did the voice from McCree in Overwatch. Yep, it did. I remember that. It was love at first sight. He does look cool. I like the cat. I like the cat right there. Like his cat is just ridiculous. Crow, I spent a lot of money trying to get him. In the end, I got him from a free summon. Kwan, DN, because of her side story. Yes, can we have Queen DN? Saying. To conclude the interview, Kim Lee Kwan expressed their gratitude to players, continue to support, promises to continue to create new, unique content for players in the future. Alright. So one of the reasons why this game is such a hit in the world right now is the level of quality in this game and the level of work in this game, which is why I'm willing to give this game a pass on a few things. Like they're doing a lot in a little bit amount of time. You guys don't necessarily know. Like to make an anime video game is a lot of work and a lot of time. And unless you know how to draw and computer edit and digital draw, you don't really know that. Like this is the stuff that I try to dabble in, so know how long it takes, and I know how to program, so I know how long that takes. This is not easy, and even though it's a mobile game, it's a very high quality 60 FPS, a buttload of frames mobile game, which I don't even know how it loads on cell phones that fast, but it just does. So even that programming probably takes a while to actually do. So when I see people be impatient and rage and just call the game shit and everything else, I'm like, bro, you just are spoiled and entitled at this point. You have to give a game a time to grow. It's only been 100 days, as this thing said, and I think they've done a lot in the 100 days. So, be a little patient. Like I keep saying, I want the energy situation fixed. I want the gold situation fixed. And me personally, I would have nothing else to really say after that. Those are two things that I want fixed. The energy is too costly in this game, and the gold is not enough in this game for us to play as we would normally need to actually play. Those two things, that's all I really am concerned about. Everything else is kind of like preference and opinion at that, but there's no opinion on that we are energy starved and gold starved. There's just no opinion for that other than it's happening. Like I don't know anybody who's just gonna be like, I got a bunch of energy, I always get everything they want without swiping a black card. You don't. But that's just a totally different discussion. That has nothing to do with this. But I just wanted to point this stuff out because I saw that I looked at the other stuff and then I looked at this and I was like, these are different answers to these questions. So I just wanted to show you guys this side of the interview. It's the same one as the one that was on the MMO site, but that was MMO site or MMORPG interviewing, and then there was another one for Kotaku and stuff like that, and there was different answers in here. So I just wanted to show you guys this stuff. And yeah, so I'll catch you guys next video. I'm just grinding, doing my thing. Let's see here. Yep, just did a bounty. So I'll catch you guys later. Like and subscribe, follow me Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. Have fun with everything. Remember, this is a game. It's a very high quality game, and just enjoy it for what it is. Give them a little bit of patience. Peace.